Well, this is becoming a slight, constant point of my podcast now, which is recording in my car. Which isn't necessarily a bad thing because the acoustic properties are pretty decent in the car, and obviously I'm in my own little bubble. In more ways of the word than one, to be honest, because of my car shape, it's actually kind of bubble-like. But yeah, I'm not complaining too much. Anyway. Hello and welcome back to the Lions Den. I'm your host Matt, as always, and I didn't have a topic. I was going to say topic because I was mixing conversation and topic together. So that I'm doing great today. I didn't have a topic in mind to talk about, so I thought I made notes about my week off that I had from work. So I thought, well, why don't we go through it? Yeah. So let's start out. We'll just start from the top, basically. I went on a little bit of a journey one day to go around doing a couple bits here and there. One of them was I went to a couple clothing stores because sort of I wanted to see sort of whether I could find some new clothing because more and more of my trousers are procuring holes in them now, which is not ideal. And I also combined that with the fact that there was a new area of a store that had been recently renovated, and there was sort of tons of stuff that they'd added in terms of kind of not fast food but quick food stalls, so that you could literally buy an item there and consume it immediately, as opposed to having in a normal supermarket where you purchase food and then you leave and eat it. But they also had some clothing, so I went and looked in that. The more interesting fact is that the second clothing store I went to was brand new, and it's a huge, huge store, like massive store. If you're from America or if you've ever been to America, it's akin to Target, that kind of size. They had both a huge food section as well as a clothing section, a pharmacy, a homewares section. There was a Starbucks in there. There was what we have here in the UK called Argos, which is for a variety of items from electrical goods to like shelving units. Nuts. And it was just kind of a little bit overwhelming initially because there's just so much going on. You're looking around like, what do I do? Where do I go? What should I explore? Obviously, I was there for clothing specifically, so I made a beeline into the clothing section, and as per usual, there's hardly any clothing for men. Well, what can you do? I had a look around. It was interesting, kind of expensive, but that's just clothing these days, it seems. Yeah, very unique clothes, I think. I saw a denim jacket that I really wanted to try, but it was something like 45 quid, so I said, no, thank you. That's insane amount of money to spend on a single clothing item. And I don't even think it was proper denim, so definitely not worth the price. Annoyingly, they didn't have any trousers that I particularly wanted, nor in my size. I have a very weird waist size to leg size in terms of male trousers, so that's not ideal. I'm also currently looking for a sort of trench coat style item. I say trench coat because that's the best search term I've used currently to find what I want. I basically want a sort of stylish overcoat jacket that maybe comes down to my knees or a little bit above my knees, that sort of length, which trench coat seems to be the closest descriptor. I have a friend at work who has a trench coat that kind of length, and I'm like, I want it. I'm so jealous. And he said that he bought it for something stupid like 14 quid off an online website. I'm sat there thinking like, every time I look online, it's £100, if not more. But anyway, I didn't find anything there specifically, so I moved on. And I moved on to probably the key element of that entire journey, which was cake. Oh yes, cake. Like a couple weeks prior, there'd been multiple times where I'd gone, oh, I really want cake. I really want a good, nice piece of cake. And specifically, my personal favorite cake is red velvet. Absolutely love it. I love how visually amazing it is, and the flavor, the taste, the texture. It's so good. I know it's a glorified chocolate cake that's just red, but I think it's fantastic personally. And now we have basically what Americans call the Cheesecake Shop. Or not the Cheesecake Shop, the Cheesecake Factory. We have one of those here. It's now called the Cheesecake Solution. Not entirely sure why, but basically they carry the same cheesecakes and cakes and other bits, which I'll get onto in a moment, as the Americans version do. So I said, yeah, it's going to be expensive, but I'm going to do it as a one-off, and I'm going to do it as a treat to myself because it's, been a wild ride this beginning of the year, so I made a point of doing that. And I nearly bought this £1 slice of cake in one of the other stores where I went looking for clothing, and I said to myself, no, you know that there's the Cake Solution, Cake Shop, Cake Factory, whatever, down the road that you're thinking of going to, so don't spend £1 on an okay piece of cake when you could spend a couple quid and get a really good one. So I get there. I was completely lost in terms of how their parking situation works, because literally you pull off a 40-mile-an-hour road and you're supposed to do a hard left to where their store is, and then there's parking there. I missed that because obviously you come off of a 40-mile-an-hour road, and you just want to get out of the way. So I kind of drove straight past it and was like, where am I supposed to park? But I turned myself around and got back and figured out, oh, right, I'm supposed to go here. Got in, got out. There was a person ahead of me that had pre-ordered a cake, a whole cake, mind you, and they were picking that, and I think they grabbed a couple other things. They also did they do coffees there as well. You can grab a coffee. It's only out of one of those like espresso style machines that does, your cappuccino, your latte, all of that fun stuff. But I mean, I think their prices were slightly lower than a coffee shop, or if not, they were on par with a coffee shop. So the fact that you're also there for really good cake and then you get a coffee with it, cool. Why not? I just wanted to get the cake and go, and I was looking around at all the different varieties. The ones that caught my eye was they had a rainbow cake, that like 7-8 layer cake where each layer is a different color of the rainbow. It was gorgeous looking, absolutely gorgeous looking. But then I remembered that it's just a generic white cake as far as I'm aware. And I don't know if they've done anything fancy with the frosting. Anything fancy with the frosting / icing. So stuck with my guns. I saw that they had a red velvet cake and it looked amazing because they have like full cakes that then they just take a slice out of and then leave on display, so I could see the inside and the layers and the icing, and it looked really nice. So I was like, oh yeah, how much is just a single slice of cake? And they were like, oh, it's this. I think it was £2.80, which, yeah, ouch, is a lot for a single piece of cake. But one, it's really high quality, and two, it was a pretty big slice of cake, so I feel like I got my money's worth. Half of this recording is just going to be me having to cut out car noise as they drive by, unless I just don't bother to edit it and you can just suffer with me. But anyway, they also had a few extra things on the side, which I was drawn to. One of them being just chocolate dipped strawberries, which in February is wild because fruit here sucks. That could be a topic for another day. How bad fruit sucks here. Whether I can spin that into 10 minutes, I don't know. Let me write that down. Fruit sucks in UK. Wonderful. Topic idea. Amazing. On the fly recording, on the fly topic ideas. Yeah, let's go. So I think they were 50p, which again, expensive, but one, strawberries are expensive, and two, they were dipped in chocolate and done and pre-made, ready to go. Like, you're paying for labor plus the fact that it's expensive fruit in the first place. Anyway, so what I did is I bought this slice, I bought one strawberry, and I immediately ate the strawberry then, and I got in my car, made sure everything was secure, and then had that strawberry, and it was so good. I don't know where they're buying their strawberries from, but it was big, juicy, crunchy, sweet, all of the good things that you want in a strawberry, and had like a good strawberry flavor. Sometimes you can get fruit that's supposed to be X thing, and it just does not taste like that fruit. I think like British strawberries, if they're very underripe, just don't taste like strawberry. Blueberries, for example, blueberries we get in the UK just do not freaking taste of like blueberries. Blueberries in the UK just don't taste like blueberries. Oh god, I can't say blueberries. Goodness gracious, gravy me. So yeah, the strawberry was really nice. It was quite light, quite refreshing, and yeah, it did exactly what I wanted at that point in time. At that point in the day, I really just wanted something sweet, so I had that. And I took the cake home with me. Got home, had lunch, and then got the cake out, and oh my goodness, it was so good. It was so good. It was so worth the wait, the extra drive out there, and the fact that it cost a decent amount for just a single piece of cake. It was, again, every descriptor of cake you want. It was moist. It was sweet, but not overly sweet. The icing was a very light icing. I think it was kind of whipped, so it just kind of melted in your mouth, and then it mixed with the really fresh, light moist cake, and it wasn't overbearing or oversweet or too sickly. It was just kind of a wonderful balance of everything I wanted in it, and my brain was just like, I want to just continue eating this constantly. I ate maybe like a half of it, and I said, slow down, pause, enjoy this, but I couldn't. I had to pick it back up and continue eating because it was just so good. And it smelled really good as well. Like, you opened they have like pre-made packaging that's designed for a single piece of cake. It's really specific packaging, but obviously it works, and for them it's ideal. But the minute you crack that open, it was like, oh, I'm excited now, because it starts getting all of your senses engaged, and just gorgeous. So I definitely suggest, if you have something that you like to use as a treat, go get something really good, really artisanal, or just from a bakery or somewhere local that does what they do really well. If I knew somewhere that, for example, made fresh cinnamon rolls, that would have also been a contender for X thing that I would pay too much money for to enjoy, because I friggin' love cinnamon rolls. I love cinnamon, just as a side tangent. I absolutely love cinnamon. So yeah, highly recommend. If you have a cheesecake shop or cheesecake solution, go. It seems really good. Obviously it's not an everyday thing because it's expensive, and obviously it's not at all good for you. It's good for you mentally, but physically, no, it's definitely not good for you. But yeah, highly recommend. So yeah, I think that about covers basically what happened that day. It was a very good day in my opinion. So very glad I did that. Anyway, I hope you've all enjoyed listening. I hope this doesn't sound absolutely garbage. And I'll see you all next week. Bye.